Abzar is a big United fan who's been waiting an age to get through to us, but you're through now. Abzar, good morning. What do you want to say?
Morning, Jim and Simon. How are you both?
Very good, thank you.
As usual, by the way. Quick mention to Simon. I think he talks a lot of sense. If I ever need a lawyer, I'm going to call him.
Okay.
On this occasion, though, with the Onana situation, I'm going to have to slightly disagree with him. From day one, when we played Nottingham Forest, my son, he's a 16-year-old, we watch football together with my daughters. When he flapped that chance and we conceded that goal, that is not a professional footballer who played for international football, played for Inter Milan in the Champions League, and conceded that goal. What annoys me is when we got a manager like Ten Hag, when we got Steve McLaren, these are proven managers. And if they can't see these little mistakes from the beginning, which turn into massive mistakes, you question what sort of profession have they been in. I used to be in catering trade, and I could see that mistake, and I couldn't understand why to this day this hasn't been eradicated. I'll let you in before I finish. What happened is, I feel the biggest problem this season has been, as a United fan and as United themselves, is the goalkeeping situation. He has cost us the Champions League place. He is going to cost us the Champions League, the league places which would help us to qualify for the Champions League, because no matter how much of a good defence you have, if the defence gets breached and you've got no one that you can rely on, then the defence has no hope. The problem I see is we have proven defenders. We've had in the past, we had Varane, we've had Martinez. The problem is I see them. They are nervous knowing if that defence gets breached, Onana has no chance of saving. Any shot that goes at him, majority of the shots that go onto Onana, he's flapping or he's conceding. I had David De Gea in my car 2 weeks ago, and we spoke. And I honestly said to De Gea, look, hand on heart, be honest, because I know the truth. I said the amount of goals that Onana conceded, would you have conceded 70% of them? And he, without being big-headed, I am sure of that, he said, yeah. And I, as a United fan, 100% agree with that.
You had De Gea in your car, Abzar?
Yeah. I had to get in my car. I'll send the pictures to prove it. But the problem, what I'm seeing is, as a big club like United, why have they just jumped into putting Onana in without? They should have a gradual phase in that. The secondly is, we signed a Turkish international. We had the chance to play him, test him out. Why are we not doing these things?
But managers buy bad goalkeepers or make mistakes. If you look back to United with Ferguson, when he signed Mark Bosnich and it wasn't a resounding success, and the other goalkeeper, was it Massimo Talbi that they signed?
Tybee. Yeah, that's
and
right.
Both of those were Ferguson signings, and they didn't work out.
Yeah. But he had to cut his losses eventually. Abzar, in a sentence, should United cut the losses now in Onana and think elsewhere?
Obviously, they should cut out. If not, they should test what they have. They're not doing anything. They're persisting with the lost scores here.
Okay, Abzar, thank you very much indeed. I'm intrigued that gave David De Gea a lift the other day. Richard's a United fan. Richard, take us further on this one. Onana is coming in for it this morning. Do you think he's due the criticism he's getting? And is it time to cut your losses on Onana and look elsewhere?
This is 100% on Onana. 100% on Onana. I heard Simon earlier saying, he saved the day against Copenhagen. No, he made one save that any average goalkeeper would save and actually threw two others in. He's been to blame.
Well, not in that game, he didn't, did he? Because you won 1-0.
Yeah, but no, in the other.
And you'd be out of the Champions League now, wouldn't you? If he hadn't saved that penalty, you'd have been gone.
In the return fixture against Copenhagen, he was to blame for goals there.
Do you think you've got a brilliant defensive unit then? Do you think that all the goals that you've conceded this season, and going back to last season when you conceded 7 against Liverpool, this defensive unit you've got at Man United is so good that really and truly it's just the goalkeeper and the errors that he makes?
No, 100%. That's not the case. This season, in fairness, they haven't had the correct unit, have they? They have had their injuries, and you can't mask over the fact that as soon as some of them come back, we look better. We look better now Wan-Bissaka's back. We look a bit better now Luke Shaw's back. But you can't keep giving the abuse to people like Harry Maguire for making slight mistakes when Onana makes an absolute blunder and doesn't get even nearly the thing.
So, Richard, on Onana, is it time? Is it time it's over for Onana? Is it? Is he done?
100%, yeah. Onana only starts this weekend because of Ten Hag's pride.
All right. Now, the other question I'm putting out there, Richard, as you know, are United moving closer to calamity, or is Ten Hag going to get it right?
Ten Hag can get it right. He has to swallow his pride. He has to accept that some of his signings, actually all of them, haven't worked. They might work, but they're not. Manchester United played well the other day for the first time because he went, let's stop playing all the superstars. Let's go with these youth players, the whole reason I was brought in. He's done that. And look how we got on.
But how can you say the whole reason? I mean, first and foremost, don't they say that a manager is often defined by his signings, and specifically a manager in a job like Man United? If he's had 400 million, which is best part of what he's had over the 3 transfer windows that he's been involved in, and yet we're seeing very little of any significance from the major signings that he's made. Mount, the boy up top, is developing but not scoring goals at this moment in time. The goalkeeper, there's the first 200 million of them. And before I even get into the others that he's spent, at this moment, and, Anthony, we're looking at this and going, well, this is not great, is it? This is not great from Ten Hag. It's not giving you a feeling. Yes, we can all give people enough time. And if you give someone enough time, they'll achieve something. But in the here and now in football, which is how football's run, you spent 400 million, and none of these players seem to have done anything to improve the malaise that Man United had before he came.
100% agree with you. And that's exactly what the problem is. The problem is Ten Hag's signings have been a failure. I'll give you one last example.
Yep.
We had a very, very, very good youth left-back in Fernandes. Highly rated, highly regarded at that football club. We let him go out on loan and brought in Reguilón. We have our 2 main left-backs get injured. Reguilón plays, gets injured. The other day, Reguilón's on the bench. We need a new left-back, and we bring a right-back on instead of bringing Reguilón on. What does that say about this Reguilón?
Okay, Richard, many points here for us to mull over. Thank you very much indeed. Simon, when you see what Arsenal are, and I mentioned Arsenal earlier, they're through to the knockout stages, top in the group. They were outlawed 6-0 at home last night. 6 different goal scorers. Yep. That's a lovely luxury when you knock in half a dozen goals against an opponent that 6 different players score. Manchester United want to do exactly what Arsenal are doing, but are they doing that because they showed patience in Mikel Arteta, and United need to do the same thing with Ten Hag?
Possibly, but Arsenal haven't won anything yet, so they're building. And
well, they won an FA Cup. They're building.
They won an FA Cup.
They've been in a title race.
Well, hold on. They won an FA Cup 3 years ago, and Man United have won the League Cup since then. So both clubs have won something.
No, but you can see the progress.
Currently,
by persisting with Arteta, you can now see the progress.
Currently. And Man United have had a dreadful start to the season, and there are a certain amount of points behind Arsenal in the league. We're heralding Arsenal as an unprecedented success. Right? And Arteta has got lots of things right. The spirit of that club is better than it's been for a significant period of time. The performances on the pitch are better than they've been for a significant period of time. They bottled it last year. They bottled it. They gave the title back to Man City. The games that they didn't contribute an outcome to were the reasons why Man City won the league.
But did you see them in the title race last year? Did you predict he would be in the title race last year?
No, not particularly.
See, well, there you are. But that shows how far they've progressed.
And that's wonderful. What is second then? Oh, I know what it is. It's first loser. It doesn't matter when you finish second. It matters what you win. So you can finish second. Man United a few seasons ago, against my best arguments under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, finished second or third. What does that say about where second actually means in the great scheme of things? Winning is what you're in the business of. Arsenal, right now, have qualified through this group at a canter. Man United are going through their malaise. But I wouldn't suggest that Arsenal are the poster boys for getting everything right, because Arteta's still got to win something besides the FA Cup he won in his first season.
But he's a blueprint for patience, isn't he?
Well, he's a blueprint for patience if you are happy with not winning anything. And if you believe that by winning something is going to be the end game over a period of time, then there's no way I'll be saying fire Arteta. That's not where I'm going with this. But when we're doing this compare and contrast and saying Arteta, everything about Arteta Arsenal is the right way to go, everything about Man United and Ten Hag is the wrong way to go. I think that compare and contrast is slightly flawed, because at the end of it, you still have to win something. So if you finish fourth or you finish second, who cares? You still didn't win anything. If you're going to lose that, if Arsenal win the league this year, which, by the way, they won't, then we will say what a wonderful, successful story that was.
At the moment, the story is more of who got closest to Manchester City.
Yes, and Arsenal.
And it was Arsenal.
Arsenal are in this category.
Yeah.
But close second is still second. Winning is what everyone's after. Man United and Arsenal were the story of the early 2000s.
All right.
They're not anymore.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.